So if you live in Hamilton County, your taxes might go up because $64.5 million is going to renovations of Paycor Stadium. So the county and the Bengals have reached an agreement for $184 million worth of improvements to Paycor Stadium. Now, obviously, we talked about recently, they wanted 850, 350 that coming from the state of Ohio so that they could make renovations. Well, that was rejected. So because of that, it looks like Hamilton County's taxpayers are going to be on the hook for $64.5 million. The Bengals are going to pay $120 million of that money, so they will be paying some money. And I know last time I talked about the subject, a lot of people in my comic section were upset, rightfully so, because, as they said many times, why, as a taxpayer, am I paying for, a billionaire's toys, right? Why am I paying for a billionaire stadium when they have the money to do it themselves? And it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, this is kind of how the process goes. And, well, at least we got somewhat of a resolution. Now, for the Bengals staying in Cincinnati, there is a hope that a long-term agreement will be reached by June 30th of this year. It says reach a long-term agreement by June 30th this year. They did put parameters in check to try to make sure everything is done correctly and it's done in the way that Hamilton County wants. And, of course, the Bengals also want. So, in the end, it's a very positive thing. As it says here, it is not done. It's a process. It's not over until it's over. So, again, it's still going to be a whole entire thing. Keep in mind, again, the Bengals wanted to do Bengals and Hamilton County wanted to do a $850 million renovations. So, roughly around 184 is not exactly what they wanted, but it is something to some degree pushing forward in a correct direction. Again, though, at the cost of the taxpayers. Because $64 million is not chump change, okay? Now, I'm not in Hamilton County, so obviously I'm not going to take the brunt of this. But for those who are, I understand why you are upset. And after reading a lot of your comments down below in my comic section last time I talked about this, I understand the, frustrations and anger. It's hard to justify taxpayers having to pay that money when, again, you got a billionaire. You got a billionaire, the Brown family, who could easily cover this and easily take care of this, especially with all the money they make off the Bengals. But it is what it is. Hopefully, this is a positive note, as in, obviously, we're not going to lose our team, which is a good thing. But, yeah, stadium's going to get better. So if you're not in Hamilton County and you're outside of Hamilton County here, the positives is the stadium's going to get better. It's going to look better. And there's going to be some really cool, things. Under the deal, the Bengals relocate the club lounges and suites as well as improved concessions. The county would put in new escalators, refurbish the elevators, and upgrade the power grid and other technology according to the agreement. The agreement makes it clear that both teams and county wants to reach a long-term deal within the next 2 months. So, again, a long-term lease within the next 2 months, which obviously would keep, the Bengals in Cincinnati for a long term. I think this is a very positive note in that aspect as well. Again, I'm trying to talk about this in a way, because again, like I said, I know a lot of people are going to get impacted by this, and it's not right in any way. But I'm trying to keep this in somewhat of a positive note here. Hamilton County Commissioner Reach offered the most skepticism during April 22nd meeting, emphasized the need for a lease, not just an agreement. She said, we got to get a better deal, she said. So, obviously, yes, the lease is not done. We're just talking about renovations here. It's not the 830 that we wanted, but at least it's something in the correct direction. And it also speaks to more volume of the Bengals are going to stay, because if you put that much money into your stadium, you're probably not thinking about getting up and moving if you're the Brown family. You're not going to put $120 million into a building and then just uproot and leave. So, Bengals staying in Cincinnati. I think that's really what this comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah. It's been a long process. I feel like this process in general with the Paycor Stadium lease has been ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and a lot of just back and forth, which is what you always would expect when it comes to any stadium lease or any huge amount of money that is being transferred. So, yeah, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. If you live in Hamilton County, God bless you. That's all I gotta say.